Any other questions? Let's go to the next slide. So all of these bullets here, just a few of the topics that are common to all alternatives across the board. So it doesn't matter what the alternative is, whether it's A, B, C, or D, these things all relate. And so, you know what, it has to be in compliance with applicable laws, statutes, and regulations. You know, that includes and those acronyms: National Historic Preservation Act, the Endangered Species Act, FLEPMA is the Federal Land Policy and Management Act, and then the National Forest Management Act. So, you know, each of the alternatives will ensure proper care and management of the objectives which are required by the proclamations. Tribal collaboration framework, cultural resource monitoring framework, and this one as well, cultural resource allocation criteria, management strategies. Those are each contained in the appendix of the draft EIS, and those were things that we worked on quite a bit with different tribes and meetings, and trying to have more consultation of, you know, our tribal consultation framework. That was, I think it's appendix F. I can look it up later on. Well, it's how we're going to interact with tribes, and so we explained that to them. Doesn't matter what alternative the agency chooses, this is our protocol of how we're going to work with tribal consultation. This is how we're going to engage them, and that's what this framework is. This is a monitoring framework, so very similar. Doesn't matter what alternative, these are the steps we're going to do to monitor cultural sites and to protect the objects and values. The allocation criteria and management strategy. This is strategy here for defining public use sites. And so if we establish public use sites, it lays out how we're going to do that, how we're going to get buy-in and support, our communication to tribes and other folks that may care about those sites, whether or not that site can sustain visitors to be a public use site. So that's what that strategy is. Each of them allows for traditional uses, plant collection, ceremonial uses. And of course, there's best management stipulations would also be applied to minimize any impacts. Travel management planning, that's being deferred. And so we're not going to make any changes to travel management planning. So all of the current roads and routes and stuff that are open today would still remain open and available. So the only management decision with travel is what we call an area designation, whether or not we would designate that as designated to existing routes or designated as an open, go anywhere type route system. Okay, next slide. Alternative B in the draft environmental impact statement is the preferred alternative. The preferred alternative provides the greatest management flexibility while still upholding the Bureau's obligation to protect the monument's objects. It protects cultural resources, responds to increased visitation, and meets visitor expectations. Livestock grazing, the existing preferred alternative maintains the existing levels of livestock grazing. There wouldn't be any change there, and continues to provide for woodland harvest. There is a touch of a change, and I'll touch on it here in the next slide on livestock grazing. Includes designation of recreation management zones. So the current land use plan in 2008 has the area of where recreation will occur, and this planning effort, we're designating management zones. We're designating several management zones, and I'll show you those a little later on, where those zones are going to be designated. And our proposal there is by designating more than one management zone, we can have different prescriptions in each of those zones based upon the needs of what we were hearing at scoping and the comments we received on the draft. We felt like that some management zones needed different different prescriptions in them.
That's a really,
Yep.
I forgot to hand you out, so I'm gonna
Okay.
do that while you're talking.
So Lisa's handing out a table of the alternatives to you. This is contained in the draft EIS in Chapter 2. So we'll go to the next slide, please. Yep, question?